in value chain of protein source like milk, egg or meat production. Feed manufacturer play a very important role. Feed manufacturer not only responsible for good quality of feed, but they ensure minimum biosecurity risk. A breach in biosecurity adversely impact quality of food, trust of consumer, loss of productivity of livestock and loss of revenue. A comprehensive biosecurity plan is very important for good quality of feed. An overlooked aspect of biosecurity in feed ingredient and feed leads to contamination of E. coli, Salmonella and other pathogenic bacteria. A robust biosecurity plan must mitigate potential cause of contamination. You are watching millTALK. I am Sarwar Ali from Kemin. Primary role of feed mill is to produce good quality of feed, but pathogen control within feed mill premises, it is a complex issue. This is largely due to nature of business. For example, many people enter and leaves the premises. There is no continuous flow of material and cleaning of machinery itself is a challenging task. Unfortunately, once the pathogen enters inside the premises, that may lead to contamination of ingredient, machinery and other raw material. There are four major potential root cause for contamination. One is raw material, cross contamination in meal, environmental condition and storage point. Here I have adopted one paper on subject of Salmonella contamination in feed mill. This paper published in Journal of Food Protection. The important aspect of this study is that animal source of protein like fish meal, bone meal, meat meal, these are ingredient which is heavily contaminated with the Salmonella. But important aspect of this paper is that feed mill machinery itself it is contaminated and there is an indication that dust cross contamination is very high in the feed mill. Approximately 60% of layer population present in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. In Kemin Laboratory Services, we analyze the sample from these states and we try to establish a correlation between the moisture present in layer mash feed versus Enterobacteriaceae. If we look at the data from Andhra Pradesh, so average moisture percentage you will find here 9 to 10%. In some month like summer season you will find there is a drop in moisture, whereas the monsoon season there is high moisture, but around the year it is 9 to 10% of the moisture. But Enterobacteriaceae count is more than log 3 in all the months. 48% of sample is having more than log 3 contamination, whereas the 39% of the feed is having more than log 4 contamination. Similarly, if you look at the data from Tamil Nadu, here average layer mash feed is having moisture percentage 10 to 11%, whereas bacterial contamination 30% is having more than log 3, whereas 49% is having more than log 4. In Karnataka, moisture percentage less, it is 8 to 10%, whereas 38% of the feed is having more than log 3 contamination, whereas 44% is having more than log 4 contamination. It means in all the state the bare minimum contamination present is above log 3 and the safest level is below log 3. So irrespective to the moisture, contamination is present. So sometimes there is a consideration that if moisture percentage will increase, then only the contamination will increase. It is not true. Even at the less moisture percentage, contamination persists. Now I will present you one more set of study. This study is conducted in year 2019. Kemin's customer laboratory services have collected the sample from across India and they tried to establish the concept of moisture versus Enterobacteriaceae. There is a general consideration that moisture should be 11% in layer mash feed for economical profitability. Now, looking into this data, you will find that in the month of November, December, there is a very high level of contamination in layer mash feed, but not a single month is there where the contamination is less than log 3, and we know that for a safe feed, contamination should be less than 10 to the power 3. Now looking into the another set of graph, here you will find that there is a relationship between moisture versus Enterobacteriaceae count. Moisture percentage is varying from 10% to 9% in various months, whereas the contamination level is above log 3. So even if the moisture level is less than 9% or near to 9%, for example May, June and July, but the Enterobacteriaceae count is above log 3. So it is not safe to have a feed which is contamination above log 3. Now look at the one economical analysis of layer mash feed. I told you that there is a general consideration and practice that in layer mash moisture percentage should be 11%, but on this study we found that the moisture percentage is 9.6%. It means there is a loss of moisture which is approximately 1.3%, and this is 1.3% is equivalent to 13 kg of the feed per metric ton of the production, and which is having the economic loss of approximately 300 to 350 rupees per ton of the feed production. Salcab ASF is pathogen control program from Kemin against pathogenic bacteria, mold and feed viruses. Salcab ASF ensure minimum 1 log reduction within 24 hours of application in layer mash feed. millSmart is Kemin flagship program. millSmart works on the principle of process, productivity, feed safety and profitability. millSmart is supported by laboratory services, technical services and dedicated engineers. I hope you have enjoyed this session. We will catch you soon with another informative session. Until then, take care. Goodbye.